For finding angular velocity, v, this seems like this really difficult formula, but all we're saying is if distance over time is your velocity, just say in a circle, this is the distance it travels, and this is the time that it takes to make one loop. Time for one loop. Now, they sometimes call that a period of time for one loop, and then we'll talk about frequency in a little bit. But let's take a look at a real simple equation. Let's say you have a motorcycle wheel that has a radius of 0.45 meters, and the time it takes to make a loop is 1/3 of a second. How fast is it going? And we're going to convert it into miles per hour too, so we'll do a little bit of dimension analysis. But for right now, we're going to just do velocity 2 pi r over t. T is the time to make one loop, okay? And the radius is 0.45 meters. I might need your help here. Would you take your calculator? 1/3, the 3 goes on top, 6. Let's see, 2 times 0.45 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. What is 27 times pi? Could you get that for me with your calculator? That's what this is if you simplified it. What do you get? 27 times pi. 27 times 3 is somewhere around 80-some. 84.8. Thank you. Okay, so that's meters per second. Now we're going to turn this into miles per hour. And the way we do that is there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour. Do you agree with that? There are 3.3 feet. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. 3.3 feet in 1 meter. And how many feet in a mile? Well, there's 5,280 feet in 1 mile. And you guys have talked about this in physics, haven't you? Is that as long as you can get the seconds to cancel, the meters to cancel, the feet to cancel, what are you left with? Miles per hour. So with your calculators, would you take 84.8 times 3,600? This is 3.3, a little hard to read. And then this is divided by 5,280. And tell me what this is in miles per hour. Think in the 30s, I think. What'd you get? Should be in the 30s. Yeah, you got to multiply 190. What was that? Point what? 8. Okay, good. Yeah, if you want to change meters per second to miles per hour, you multiply by 2.25. And that's going to get you your miles per hour. That's what all this stuff does. I just have that memorized because I've used it a lot in physics. Okay, so what you do is use this formula, 2 pi r over t, and then you do this nice little conversion. I want to do one other thing. I think I have another example here, and they're doing, looks like an Eskimo yo-yo, and this got in the dark here. And we're going to find out what the speed is in miles per hour, but this time they're going to do something a little tricky. They're going to give this to us in frequency. So here goes. The velocity is 2 pi r over the time. Okay? Now, I get the 0.7 meters. She's got the Eskimo yo-yo going here. 2 pi r, 0.7 meters. But then for the frequency, looks a little tricky. Look at the units. It's 1.2, 1 over seconds. That's what a frequency is. So what do you do to get time? It's not hard. If this is 1 over seconds, we want seconds here. What do you do to frequency to get it into time? Instead of seconds, we want 1 over seconds, we want seconds. So what should we do with this? 1 over 1.2 seconds. Is that tricky? Do you see that if the frequency is 2 1 over seconds, what will the time period be? In seconds for one loop. 1/2, right? See, this is saying in one loop it takes a second. Here it's saying in 1 second you can do one loop. See how that works? So if it takes 1.2 for one loop, let's see, or it takes, you can do 1.2 loops in 1 second. For 1 second, it's 1 over 1.2. So wherever you see frequency, I'm going to write this down for a formula. Frequency is 1 over the time. Think of making those 3. I can do 3 in a second. That's a third of a loop, a third of a second per loop. Oh, it's really boring, but look at this. That is 1 every 3 seconds. Okay, how much happens in 1 second? A third. Yeah, kind of boring, but that's how that one works. Okay, so let's do a yo-yo here. Let's see if you can do this as best you can. Number 50, it says a yo-yo is 2.25 inches, 4,500 revolutions per minute. You want to find it in miles per hour. Let's do it together. So here goes. Speed is 2 pi r over t. So what's the radius of this yo-yo revolution? 2.25 inches. You okay with that? And it says it's 4,500 revolutions per minute. Uh-oh. 4,500 revolutions per minute. Okay. Let's turn that into seconds. How many seconds in a minute? Oh yeah, there's in 1 minute there are 60 seconds. So take your calculator. What's 4,500 over 60? And this is going to be revolutions per second. What is that? 450 over 75? 75? So this is 75 revolutions in 1 second. Now, I don't want revolutions per second. I want seconds. So seconds per revolution, what's going to go here for the time? No problem. You can do it. 1 over 75. You okay with that? So you can convert that revolutions per second pretty easy. So then what we do is once we have that, now we just figure out our speed. It's going to be 75 times 2 times 2.25 times pi. And this is inches per second. Let's get a calculation on that. How many inches per second is that? 150, or this will be 4.5. I don't know, whatever. What is that? Thanks for calculating that for me. I'll let you do that. And then there are 3,600 seconds in 1 hour, and there are 12 inches in 1 foot. Tomorrow, I'm going to check your homework. Do all of day 2, please, and I will check that guaranteed. Those are these guys, and there's a couple of those problems to do.